Scratch and Dent lightsaber bundles have become quite popular in the last couple years. So, what is a Scratch and Dent bundle? Well, this can vary a little bit from saber company to saber company, but generally it means that you get either a complete hilt or sometimes parts of a hilt or even just other lightsaber components. And you essentially get a mystery bundle of pieces. And occasionally, I guess there have been some companies that will sell Scratch and Dent full hilts. And in those cases, you may actually know which hilt model you're getting in advance. But anyway, it's quite common, though, that you are more ordering a bundle of mystery parts, essentially, that are sort of seconds from the company. So there may be some defects to the pieces. Like, for example, here you can see there's a little bit of maybe rust to this component. Or it just doesn't seem like brand new and totally shiny. But on the other hand, some of the pieces that you get are in very good shape. So it doesn't always mean everything is kind of worn down. It just means that perhaps some of the pieces could be. Now, sometimes these Scratch and Dent bundles could just include some parts that the company doesn't use anymore, maybe from a hilt model they don't offer anymore, or maybe they were kind of experimenting with to create a new piece or a new hilt. Sometimes some companies have thrown those types of pieces in there. But yeah, it's just kind of a fun sort of mix and match bundle. You don't know what you're going to get. Now, you're not always guaranteed to get like components to make, a whole bunch of complete hilts. Like here's a Scratch and Dent, or it's this actually part of a Scratch and Dent bundle that I got from the Custom Saber shop. Actually, it's part of two bundles. But you can sort of see the variety of parts that I got in this bundle. I got like a low profile activation box, some cover tech wheels, some other kind of activation boxes here, a body to a hilt. But there was definitely enough parts to make a couple complete hilts. So that will be a pretty common element. But, quite often you'll see people buy these Scratch and Dent bundles, whether it's from SaberForge or Custom Saber Shop or whichever company, they'll kind of pick through the parts themselves first and then, sell off some of the leftovers. So that's kind of one of the interesting things that tends to happen with these bundles. But it is kind of a cool way to just sort of create your own mashup hilts, especially with the parts from the Custom Saber shop where their components are already mix and match, right? But, SaberForge doing their Scratch and Dent bundles, it's pretty similar. They can create these adaptive saber parts. That's their system, these ASP sort of mix and match hilts. So it's just kind of a fun thing to do. And like in this case, one of these Scratch and Dent pieces had this cool finish added to it. Otherwise, sort of the standard for the Custom Saber shop is to have just a standard aluminum finish. So you can end up with some interesting combinations like that. Very creative. You can get very creative with it. And then if there's pieces that you don't need or you don't like or whatever, people often end up trading them or selling them to other saber creators. So it's kind of an interesting, neat thing that some of these saber companies have been doing. Some companies that I'm aware of that do that. So Custom Saber Shop, these are the pieces that I have here. SaberForge, they're one of the first companies I can think of that started doing this Scratch and Dent concept a couple years ago. Sometimes some companies will have sort of a clearance Scratch and Dent section in their website where they'll maybe sell sort of like a Scratch and Dent version of a particular hilt. Vader's Vault did this for a time, or, they've been doing that maybe periodically. Sometimes other companies will just have this little section on their site tucked away where they just have kind of a one-off kind of seconds type model or Scratch and Dent model. So you can check sites for that. And oftentimes, whichever, way this is done, whether it's a bundle of parts or whether it's a hilt, it'll usually be discounted quite well. So it can be really a great opportunity for a DIY project or for kind of finding some parts for a project that you anticipate doing. So anyway, scratch and dent parts, they could be a great option for some creative hilt building or hilt repairing for your lightsabers. So look for those on various custom saber websites, and feel free to comment below.